40. And these are...
Ricardo, come down to the front office. Ricardo.
Right. So go ahead on this one and put a 1 under it. And again, these are division of fractions, division of rational numbers, except now we have to leave, change, flip, and we also have to factor out. So on the first one, what can you factor out of this first one? In this numerator, number 9. N and what else? Oh, that's it. So you can just factor out an n, and you'll have what? N what? Oh, I forgot my 4. 4n squared minus 25. I need something else. This is not going to work. All right, I'll just use my pencil. Okay, then on the bottom, there's nothing to factor out. So this takes us back to the ones that are a little bit harder. If I can't factor it out, but I've got a front number, who remembers what you need to do? Yeah, multiply. Take the first times the last, and I'm going to put it way to the side because we still have this fraction to work with. So I'm going to put it way over here, 3 times 5, such that, because it's a positive, such that the sum comes to a negative 16. And then, well, there's only one way to break up 3, which is 3 times 1. One way to break it up with the 5, which is 5 times 1. So who knows what we connect with what? Yeah, 3 times 5 is the 15. 1 times 1 is 1. And that will come to our 16. So go ahead and write your factor under here, and I'll check it in just a second. I'm looking for a pen because it's hard to see that pencil. There we go. All right. And so, did somebody get what it is?
3n minus 1 and 5.
So, I think you're right. So, yeah, I have to look at this. So, it's going to be the first numbers is 3 times 1. So, 3n times 1n. And the 3 went with the 5. So, that 5 is going to go on the outside. And the 1. And you're right. And what were the signs, Anthony? Negative, negative. Now, all right, then on the second one is we have to leave, change, flip. So I'm going to flip this. And as I'm flipping it, is there any way that I can factor out something from the 10n plus 25? A 5. So n plus 5 is left. And I'm actually going to rewrite mine in a second if you just want to erase, because this top that I put in the green, it can be factored again. So look at it very carefully. I'm just going to rewrite this real fast. 5n plus 5 over the 1. So look at this one. Here's the n, but 4n squared, is that a perfect, does that have a perfect root? Yes. Does 25 have a perfect root? Mm-hmm. So it's the difference of perfect squares, so that can be factored again. Does anybody know into what? How am I going to get 4n squared? 2n. 2n times 2n. How am I going to get, what two signs should it be such that I get a negative? A positive and a negative. And what's the root of 25? 5. So this is the kind that the parentheses will be exactly the same except the positive and the negative, such that when I do the inside and the outside, it cancels out that middle. So now we're going to go ahead and reduce it. So it's just an additional thing from yesterday. Now, yesterday you just had one fraction. Now we're going to have a couple that you have to simplify. So what can we simplify? Not much. Can we take out, what is there to simplify?
Well, for the second fraction, I think we just need 5 and 2 and plus 5. So,
hold on a second. So this is, oh, this is 2n. Yeah, 2n plus 5. Thank you. Candy. All right. So this is 2n plus 5. So then what can we take out? We can take out the 2n plus 5, 2n plus 5. And is that it? I think that is it. Yeah, so what's left, and I'll see if I have room to write it. What's left is there's one n, so it's n times our 1 parentheses, 2n minus 5. And on the bottom, what has to go first is this 5. So single n's and single digits are going to go in the front. So it's going to be 5 times our 3n minus 1 times our n minus 5. And that looks like it is the letter A. So wherever you see a 9, you're going to put the letter A. So 9A, 9A, 9A. We'll do a couple more. We're not going to do too many. So we'll do the number 8. So again, we're going to leave change flip, but we're going to factor it as we go. So I'm going to leave so for number 8, I'm going to leave the 17m to the third. And right below that, so who thinks they know? Because we know it's going to be m, m. Who knows what the signs are going to be for this right here? Positive and negative. That's the only way we can get a negative. And we need our factors then that we take the difference, and it's going to be a 2. What two numbers are close together that when you multiply them, the difference will be 2?
5 and 7.
5 and 7. And the bigger number has to go with the positive. So it's going to be a 7 here and a 5 here. Then we're going to go over. So leave, change to multiplication, and flip. So I'm always going to start with the bottom one so that it's going to go on top.
Joel Torres, please come down. You're going home. Joel Torres.
Right. Then what can come out on this m squared plus 7m? The m. So it's going to go on top because we're flipping it now. And m plus 7 is left. And then on the bottom is the 34 m to the 8th, n to the 4th. Then do you see anything that can be reduced on top and bottom? Yeah, the m plus 7 doesn't matter if it's way over here and the other one is over here as long as it's separated by a division sign. And then, does 17 go into 34? Yeah, so we can reduce this out, and this, a 2 is going to be left. Can we reduce out an m? Yeah, where are more m's going to be left, on top or bottom? On the bottom. So if I take 1 here, how many are going to be left here? 7. So I'm going to put m to the 7. And then we've got n to the 3rd on the top, n to the 4th on the bottom. Where are we going to have more left? On the bottom. And again, you're minusing out the 3, and so those are all gone. And so we're going to have n to the 1st power, just n. So we took care of that. And then we're going to write down what we have. So what did I do wrong?
Isn't the M on the top of that one?
Oh, there's another one. Thank you. 2 candies for you. I didn't even see this one. So she's right. So instead of a 7, what is this going to be? It's going to be a 6. And so now all we have, when there's nothing left on top, insert a 1. So we've got 1 over 2m to the 6n. And the parentheses goes at the back. Is that there? I hope. There it is. It's the letter L. So I'm just going to write that again. 1 over. And that one gets the L. Number 8 gets the L. Here we go. And then the one I think I want to do is this number 5. It sort of relates to one you had yesterday and the day before. It's not that hard, believe me. All right. So we're going to leave change flip. So on the number 5, can you see anything that's going to be is factorable out of the 12n minus 36? A 12. N minus what? 3. Now, who knows the problem with this right below it? It's reversed. We really need the n in the front, so we're gonna fix that right up here on the worksheet. So that's where we have to pull a negative out of it. So I'm gonna do this right here. If I pull a negative out, the signs will change and the order will change. So a negative n squared becomes a positive n squared. And that positive 9 becomes a negative 9. So now we can bring it down here to our paper and finish the factoring. So negative, that's a difference of perfect squares. So how are we going to get n squared minus 9? There you go. N plus 3, n minus 3, such that the inside and the outside would have dropped out. Then we're going to leave change flip. And I always start with the bottom because I know it's going to go to the top. And it's just easier not to miss it. So what can we pull out of this one? An n. And you're going to have n plus 3 left. And then on the bottom is going to go the 8n to the 5th power. Oh, this is going to be nice. Okay. So, what cancels out of this one? N plus 3. Does anything else cancel out? The n minus 3. So we're reducing fractions, algebraic fractions. And then does this n go into this n? How many n's will we end up with? 4 on the bottom, so this is gone, and this is going to be a 4. Okay. Then, yeah.
So, wait, what happens to the n minus b? Oh, wait, I'm sorry, never mind. I was thinking of 4 going on. Never mind.
Okay, that's all right. Yeah, we're doing this number 5. Then does the 12 and the 8 reduce? So we can divide both of those by 4. And so we're going to have a 3 left here. And this divided by 4 is a 2. And I think that's all we can do. So we're going to have to see what's the only number that's left on top? Is the 3. On the bottom, by the way, that negative we can stick out to the side. And then let's see what's left. Those are gone. Is 2n to the 4th. And is that answer there? Okay, good. It's the letter D. So it is, I'm going to put this here, negative 3, 2n to the 4th. And that 5 gets the letter D. And let me see if there's any else. Do you guys get the hang of it? You want to work on your own now?
No.
I can do more.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll maybe do. And if you just want to go on your own, you can do that. I think there's something we have to switch on number 4. So I'm going to go to the number 4. What's wrong with this top number on number 4? It's reversed. So we want to have, Anthony, we want to have the m in front. So we're going to pull out a negative. I know it's all your fault. We're going to pull out this negative. And what happens with that negative 2m? It becomes a what? It becomes a positive 2m. That positive 16 becomes a minus 16. So you might want to take care of that right on the worksheet. So when we bring it down, we can factor it out completely. So we've got it in the right order now. So number 4. So minus, what can come out of the 2m minus 16? What number? A 2. Parentheses, and then m minus 8 over, okay, so, oh, the bottom one's going to be easy now. On this one, oh, we know it's m, because it's a negative, one has to be a positive, one has to be a negative, and we want the factor of two numbers such that the difference is a 2. So if the difference is a 2, the numbers are going to be very close together, 6 and 4. And we need more positives, so the bigger 6 has to go with the positive, and the 4 has to go with the negative. And then we're going to leave, we're going to change, and we're going to flip. So this bottom one now is going to be on top. So what can we factor out of that? We can factor out a 3, and we get m plus 6. And then on the bottom goes the m minus 8. Then, we have all that? Then can you see anything that's going to reduce? M minus 8. Anything else? M plus 6. And that big whole problem ended up being, what's a negative 2 times 6? I'm sorry, negative 2 times 3. Negative 6. So it's going to be a negative 6 over m minus 4. Which is the letter I. So where we see a 4, put the letter I. And we'll do to the number 7 only because I see a bunch of 7s there and I want to see what this puzzle says. Okay. All right. Got that one? Are we ready for this one? Okay, so number 7. This one, the factors are going to be different, such that we're going to take the difference of the factors of 12 to get a 1. So those numbers have to be close together. Who thinks they know the two numbers? 4 and 3. So n, positive, negative. We need more negatives, so the negative has to go with the 4, with the number 7. And the bottom one I cannot factor out. So this is one where I've got to take the first number times the last, and I'm going to do it way over to the side. 2 times, I don't like this one, because there's too many ways to get 18, such that it sums to 15. So there's only one way to get a 2, which is 1 times 2. Who wants to try to break up 18? 6 times 3? Oh, I think that's it right there. Because 2 times 6 is 12. 1 times 3 is 3. And that sums to 15. So that's it. So our first two terms are those n's? Yeah. So it's going to be 1n in the first part of the binomial and 2n in the other. So 1n times 2n, and the 1 is going to be multiplied by the 6, the 1 times the 6, and the 2 on the inside. No, I have that backwards. The 1 is going to be multiplied by the 3. The 1 is going to be multiplied by the 3, and the 2 is going to be multiplied with the 6. So the 2 is going to be multiplied right here with the 6. And we need more of what? We need more negatives. So it looks like this combo right here, 6 times 2 would give us the negative 12. Oh no, the signs are going to be the same. They're both negative. So let me just double check that. Negative 6, that's negative 12. That's it. Okay. Then leave, change, flip. So the bottom is now going to go to the top. And what can we pull out of that 2n third minus 9n squared? N squared. What's left is it 2n? minus 9. What can be pulled out of the numerator? 3n. And 3n times n will give us the n squared back, minus 3n times 4 will give us the 12n back. And we're ready to go. What can be canceled out? Is that the only thing? N minus 4, is that, after all that work, that's it?
Actually, the second fraction on the numerator, you can factor that out.
This one, which one?
That one.
But it doesn't have a square on it.
Not 2.
Not with the 2. I think that's it. But can we take out, here's an n, and here's an n squared. Can we reduce one of those?
Yeah.
So we can reduce that, so that becomes a 1. I have a feeling that is it. I think that's that big answer. We're going to see. So I'm going to put it here, so it's going to be n times our n plus 3 times the 2n minus 9 over the 3 is on the bottom, so that has to come to the front, and then our n plus 6, 2n minus 3. And I think this is the largest answer, and it is this one right here. They're just switched around, but that's okay. So it's the S, and I'm just going to say on this number 7, it's on the paper. I'm not going to rewrite that. So that number 7 gets the S. Okay. Alrighty. And so you've only got 1, 2, 3, 4 left to do. That is it. Okay, can you guys handle that? I hope so. Because I'm done.